So it turns around that the markets do need rules, at least a minimum set of rules that could ensure the common good.
Absolutely. I mean, this gets into another one of the distortions or lies in the public culture. The whole idea that we are best off when the market is free. That's what free market really means, is a market with no rules. It's pretty ridiculous on the face, because we know in every other area of human life we need rules for people who do not have the maturity to act responsibly in the interests of the community. And markets definitely need rules to assure compliance with the basic principles of or basic conditions of efficient market allocation. Costs have to be internalized. One of the most important market rules is the market only allocates efficiently if there's an equitable distribution of economic power. If a few people own everything and control all the income, then the market responds only to their interest. It does not respond to the needs of all. So one of the fundamental truths is recognizing markets need rules. Very simple.
So the international community is talking a lot about crisis. So that's all we hear in the news. It's about environmental crisis, and the international community is trying to address the issue during this year regarding the climate change, how to address the problem of climate change, and the environmental crisis it's something that humanity needs collaboration to address. Our environmental crisis. So, but we are also talking and hearing a lot about the financial crisis. So environmental crisis, financial crisis, that's what we hear the most in the news, and people talk in formal and informal discussions. What do you think are the root causes of the crisis that we are currently living, and what could be the solution, the door to get away from this crisis?
Yeah, we've essentially got three sets of crises: the economic, which includes the financial crisis, the social crisis of social breakdown and violence, which to me is a direct result of extreme inequality, and the environmental crisis. We tend to look at them as separate, but in fact they are totally interlinked. And in many ways, well, at the deeper level, they all follow from the organization by dominator hierarchy. In terms of the thing that we need to focus on changing, is that they're also all a direct consequence of placing the ultimate power for deciding how we allocate resources in society in the institutions of Wall Street. I mean, this can't be emphasized enough, and it's so exposed by the Wall Street meltdown, that these institutions decide ultimately how most of the resources of society will be allocated, whether they're allocated to war or to health care, whether they are devoted to creating an automobile-dependent society, or whether they are, which fragments us, not only as environmentally destructive, but also as terribly socially destructive, or whether we create an automobile-independent society which emphasizes living in stronger community. It is Wall Street that sets the rules that favor financial speculation over investment in real productive activity. It is Wall Street that basically controls our politicians, and in turn sets the rules to favor financial speculation and individual financial accumulation over the well-being of the society. So when we part of the work ahead is coming to recognize that if we're going to resolve the environmental, social, and economic crises, we have to fundamentally restructure our institutions of money and finance, all the way from how we create money to our financial institutions that allocate money.
So probably one of the root causes of this current crisis that humanity is living is a fundamental ethical crisis, that people are working on the wrong value systems.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the heart of it is creating a society around the love of money and institutions that serve money, versus creating a society around based on the value of love of life, with institutions that serve life. Now, life is rooted in community. It is rooted in the place on earth, which is why we have to shift the power, the control, from institutions of finance that operate totally disconnected from earth, from any sense of human community, and shift that power down to people and place where we can come to recognize our obligations to one another and our sense of responsibility to our place on earth, to maintain the health of that place. So this gets to the heart of the institutional transformation, and gets into a whole set of issues relating to the design of our money and financial system, so that money becomes a servant rather than the master of society. Now, that's a set of issues I deal with at some length in my latest book, Agenda for a New Economy.
So what do you think is the role of the Earth Charter movement in addressing these issues, in addressing these concerns that you have been raising? What could be the role the Earth Charter movement can play in addressing these issues?
Well, I see two key roles for the Earth Charter. One is the first is that it is a consensus statement of citizens from all around the world. It is the expression of our shared human dream, and that's key to recognizing the basic question. Well, if that's what we all want, why don't we just get together and do it? But it creates a real sense of the possibility. The other is that it brings all these issues together: the environmental, the social issues, the peace issues, and the democracy issues, and helps us see how they are all inseparably interconnected. And in reality, we each have to find our particular place. No one of us can solve all of these problems. So we have our different passions and our different commitments, but it's essential that we recognize how they all come together ultimately, and how at their core they all come together in a way that requires that we eliminate this dominator system. We dismantle the hierarchy and create a truly democratic system in which wealth is shared, and in which every person has a real voice in the decisions of the society.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.